Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vivian. In today's video, I'll be taking you along with me in the process of making a vintage inspired dress. I thrifted this fabric right here. It's in a plaid mini houndstooth fabric. It has some neutral colors in it as well as a bit of gray, and I thought it would be the perfect dress to turn into a layerable kind of dress. Something with maybe a low neckline and some tie straps, something in a midi or a maxi length. So let's get started. So my first step is always to sketch out the design of the dress and then figure out all of the pattern pieces that I will need to cut out. So after measuring my fabric, I decided I wanted my dress to be a midi maxi length, and I wanted it to have some vintage inspired details. So I saw this picture on Pinterest of a pattern for a jumpsuit. I really like this style of neckline and the idea of the tie straps. I usually make my dresses with a higher waistline, but to keep the vintage inspired look for this design, I'm going to lower it to around the middle of my torso. I'm going to retake all of my measurements to make sure that the fit is perfect. So now that I have the overall idea of what I want my design to be, I can determine what kind of pattern pieces I'm gonna need. I think for the front and back pieces, I want to keep them the same. I really like when dresses have a lower back line. I find that very feminine and romantic. Since I want the bodice to be a little bit more form-fitting, I will be cutting it into pieces. I'm going to research what exactly this type of bodice pattern is called and how exactly to go about it. This is the first time that I'm doing a more form-fitting kind of dress. So I'm gonna go look that up, but because this is more of a grid pattern, I think I will be going for a more rectangular pattern for the skirt, just so that we don't have any diagonal lines in contrast to the top. That would be a really nice detail if that's what you're going for, but for this particular design, I think I just prefer to have the plaid going in all the same directions. So I have my pattern paper here, my measuring tape, my two bodice blocks for the front and the back, and my reference sketches. And I'm just going to take some measurements to determine where exactly I need the neckline to be, where I want the waistline to be, how long I need to make the strap, and where the straps need to meet up with the neckline. So what I'm going to do is just take my measuring tape and measure from the bottom of my neck down to where exactly I want my dress to start. Then from that point, I'm going to measure down where I want the waistline to be. So next, I'm going to measure my bust size, and I'm going to divide that by 2 because I'll be making the front and back pieces separately. And I'm going to do the same with the waistline and divide that by 2 as well. So after a little bit of research, I found out that a princess bodice or a princess style pattern is basically a bodice that's split into 2, either from the armpit area or the shoulders. So since we have some straps going on over here, I just found the middle of this curve right here for the armpit, and then the middle of the bottom hem, and attached these 2 points with my ruler. Pin together the front pieces of the bodice together, and I'm going to repeat the exact same steps for the back as well. So after a bit of thought, I am going to add some facing pieces to the front and back. just so that the bodice has a more structured look in comparison to the flowy skirt that I want to make as well. I attached the front and back straps together. I just wanted to see what that would look like when I was trying it on, just to see if everything fit properly. And I did like that option a lot better than having the tie straps. If I have enough leftover fabric, I might just make some fake bows to conceal this seam right here. But for now, I really like how this overall minimal design is looking. So here I'm ruching the skirt at the bottom hem like I usually do with my dresses. However, when I pinned together the top and the skirt just to see how it would look before I sew it together, there was something that didn't quite look right to me. I think it was the fit of the skirt and how it just draped. It wasn't exactly the vision I had in mind. So after a little bit of draping and pinning and unpinning the skirt to the bodice, I did a bit of research online and had the idea of doing some pleats for the skirt. So I went ahead and just pinched the top of the skirt into about a 1/2 inch size pleats, and then went ahead and sewed a basting stitch across the top of the skirt just to keep the pleats in place. Then repinned the skirt to the bodice just to see if that looked okay. I did like this look a lot better than the ruching, so I just went ahead and sewed the two pieces together to get a clearer look of what the overall dress would look like. Very random, but I went grocery shopping and they had tulips in the flower section, like right when you walk into the supermarket, and I couldn't resist not getting a bouquet, so I'll just have these. Also, I'm redoing the buttons on this dress. Instead of doing the bigger ones, I found these smaller ones that I think will look a lot better. I really like when buttons are smaller and they're bunched up all together, so I think this will look really pretty on the side of the dress. This dress came out completely different from my initial design, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this dress and if you'll be making one for yourself. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.